Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kamel Greene, CEO of Poly Platform, and as you guys know, today we're back with Thursday Thoughts. And so what we do is we interview someone who works within the high level in the public or private sector, and we just want to know what engages them, what gets them to tick. We are that engagement platform, so today we have my good friend, Sione Takitaki, NFL player for the Cleveland Browns, also founder of Takitaki Construction, and investor with Iceberg. So, Sione Takitaki, tell us who you are.
Yeah, this is Sione Takitaki. I'm a kid who grew up in California, Fontana, California. Youngest of 7 kids, so I had a big family growing up. We grew up LES. My parents are immigrants, immigrated here from the island of Tonga, came here to give us better opportunity. Obviously, I went to BYU, and that's where I met Kamel. We had to end up building a solid relationship that was going to last a lifetime. And now I'm part of the Cleveland Browns. I got drafted in the 3rd round, 80th pick. Such a great moment for me, my family, and just in my life. Me pursuing football, and you know how hard that can be. And now, I'm here. Takitaki Construction is something that me and my brother started off, and then we're working in Iceberg Drive Inn is something that my in-laws are owners of. And, I'm just kind of working the franchise route and doing all that stuff.
Right. Well, Sione, that's awesome to hear, and we want to get more into that. But I feel like every time when we get to talking to someone who's been a student athlete, right, the one thing that people instantly think about is they want to ask them probing questions about sports, but we want to get behind that jersey. So my question to you is, what actually even got you interested in sports before? What were you interested in before that at a young age? Little Sione, what were you interested in before sports?
Yeah, before sports, man, I can't really think, it's always been sports, especially growing up with me, my family, my siblings. Like I said, I'm the youngest of 7. Me and my siblings were always just throwing the ball, playing football, basketball, and I can't really think. It's always been sports, though. Growing up.
No, for sure.
Obviously, school. My parents were tough on us about school, but football and basketball, some of that kind of stuck out. Yeah.
Cool. So Sione, Fontana, California. You started in Little League, obviously, and so you advanced through high school, advanced through those ranks, and then you go to BYU. Tell us about that experience. I mean, I know a little bit personally, but tell us about, as soon as you graduated from high school and you got to BYU, what was your mindset at that time? Because I feel like now you're in a different mindset, moreover, and they were all good, I would say. But what mindset was Sione Takitaki in when he left Fontana, California, and went to BYU?
Yeah, it's funny, man. I wanted to go to Wisconsin, bro. True story.
Really?
I wanted to go to Wisconsin. I was big. I wanted to party, do all that stuff. I was a little inactive, growing up, especially in the high school stage. And my mother just convinced me. I did it for my mom. She wanted me to go to BYU. I was like, I don't know, Mom. I don't know if it's gonna fit me. And she's like, no, I want you to go there, even though I know you're inactive and all that, whatnot. I want you to go there. I think it's gonna change your life. And boom, I go to BYU, and it does. It changed my life. The struggles are there were crazy, right. But I love BYU and everything it stands for. Obviously I'm an LDS kid.
Awesome. Well, Sione, that's good to hear for sure. So, all right, you're at BYU, and your mom convinced you. You still were a freshman at the time. You wanted to go to Wisconsin. Now you are a founder and an investor, right? So, what was the transition? What gave you, what was that paradigm shift in which kind of provoked you or motivated you into doing things not just, athletics, but outside of athletics? What was that about?
Yeah, like at BYU, in my whole life, it's always been football, That's kind of growing up and grew up in a little rougher area in California. And just growing up, football has always been my go-to and what I thought, was going to get me out of rut, which, it worked out for me. But, I got married, matured up a little bit, started to grow up a little bit, and I started to notice that NFL, it stands for not for long. You hear that all the time, and you hear guys who are in NFL and, are out of the league, and 5 years, all of a sudden, they're bankrupt and stuff like that. And I just heard so many stories. So as I got married and got older, I started to invest my time in some other stuff.
Sorry, did you say married?
Yeah, I got married.
So Sione Takitaki got married. So one, not to interrupt you, but I think that contributes to that paradigm. And so when you were going to BYU, once you started, it seems like you started to get your ducks in a row. Do you think that the marriage, component was an aspect to that?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, I definitely didn't think I was going to get married, when I was at BYU, I felt like, I'm not going to get married. I'm going to get married when I'm like 30, kind of one of those guys. But then I got to BYU and it just rubbed off on me. I met someone, my wife, and such a great woman. And literally I felt like, man, I don't see myself, continuing this life without her. So I just popped the question, hey, would you marry me? And obviously, I kind of say it all so smooth like that, but it was a tough process to, meet the family, do the whole 9 yards, get married, and it's worked out, man. It's been the best of times.
Wow, well, Sione, that's awesome. And so when you're making that transition, you end up getting drafted into the NFL, and like what you spoke on earlier, NFL not for long, right? And so what contributes to having that balance, right? There's a few times where I call you throughout the week and I'm like, hey, Sione, let's hang out, let's do this, but I feel like you're focused. And so what contributes to that focus in which you're balancing being a professional athlete at a high level, and at the same time you're a founder, you're an investor? How were you able to do that?
Yeah, it's just like, you hear it all the time, time management. I feel like what's helped me most is I've had such a tunnel vision with football, you know what I mean, and just putting all my marbles in on football and being locked in, that it's helped me. But now that I'm starting to, now it was my second year and I feel like I can venture off and try other things that, like you said, football is not for long, that when that time does come, it's a smooth transition and I'm not, stuck like a lot of these stories of players that, go through this hassle. So I feel like football is still my bread and butter. That thing, every time I wake up, I'm locked in, I'm getting a workout, doing the stuff that I have to do to take care of my baby, basically. Right. You know what I mean? This is my baby right now. And, I make sure that even though I'm doing all these trying these things, Takitaki construction, Iceberg, making sure I'm trying to do all this stuff, that I'm taking care of my baby, investing in my body, taking care of all the little things so that I can succeed at a high level when it comes to this football. Wow,
well, that's a beautiful, something that I need to take in more as well. But you mentioned Takitaki construction. And I remember a while back when you were telling me about your dream, moreover, like what did you want to do, kind of expanding for your family, right? Setting things up, infrastructure, generational wealth, those type of things. What can you elaborate on that? What gave you the idea to go into construction? And then after that, my next question is, what is your goal with Takitaki construction?
Yeah, the Takitaki construction. My family have always been doing construction. When my dad immigrated here, one thing that's why you see a lot of Polynesians, doing construction is one thing when they immigrated here, they came from a third world country, and so, they had to build and live off the land, and so when they got here to America, that was one of the jobs that they can hop in and just get into. And so my dad got into that and did well, was a subcontractor, taught my brothers, myself how to work hard and to do concrete, grass, the whole 9 yards. And so that's something that my brothers got into growing up. And my brother was actually, me and him are actually partners. That's my guy. He's actually, big into this Takitaki construction thing too. And like I said, we've been doing this. We've been doing this the longest, but now we just want to go the legit route and start, working that avenue. And just abroad, where I see this thing going, I one day hope that, Takitaki construction could go to a developing route. After, doing all this, working on homes, commercial, real estate buildings, doing all that stuff, I hope one day the main goal is to be some developers, and start developing land, homes.
That's huge.
You know what I mean? So
that's huge.
That's the goal.
Wow. Well, one, just throwing it out there, how can people get in contact with you for Takitaki construction? Yeah,
you can go on to takitakiconstruction.com and, we got a website that has all that whole layout. It's so funny you asked that. That should be done either today or tomorrow. But yeah, so you'll be able to contact us through that, and we're on all platforms. You know what I mean? Awesome. Instagram, Facebook. See, that's the thing. You know, we've been doing this. Right. You know, we've been doing this. Now we started to create the LLC, all that stuff. You know, go the legit business route, and just being on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram platforms have. We've been having calls, you know, off the hook. Hey, you know, can we get an estimate for this? And so the more we grow, our website's almost done. We'll have, you know, shirts, the whole 9 yards. You know, I see this thing working well for us.
Hey, well, that's wonderful to hear. And so with you doing that, you're an entrepreneur, right? And so you're also working with Iceberg. Could you tell us just a little bit about that? You know, touch on it. What is Iceberg?
Yeah, Iceberg is a fast food chain that, you know, is real popular here in Utah. It's established here. You know, I've been blessed, you know, with some great in-laws, Kathleen Penny, Fred Penny, who is my wife's parents, who are part of corporate, the owners, and I've been able just to see them, see how the business works, you know, see the detail, the numbers that's all behind it, and I feel like that's something that kind of attracted me. I've always, like I said, had my ear to the scanners, seeing, you know, trying to try different avenues, trying real estate, seeing if I can get into little duplexes, things like that. And it circled back to, you know, the franchises with my in-laws, because it's something that's safe, especially with me being an NFL football player, you know what I mean? And them knowing the detail of it all. And so that's why I kind of circled back to them. And now we got, you know, one that's in PG that, you know, the siblings are kind of, you know, running for our first time. Obviously, we have locations that are going. We broke ground in Spanish Fork and Saratoga, so be on the lookout for those ones. But we got probably 7 from, you know, Salt Lake County to St. George location. So that thing is going well, and that's kind of where the connection comes from. It comes from my in-laws, and I was able to learn from them. I'm still learning from them. Shout out to Fred Penny, my father-in-law, who's teaching me a lot of game, and that's kind of where, you know, the big business mindsets come from. Wow. Yeah. That's
awesome. Well, it's been wonderful sitting down and really talking to you and getting to kind of understand more of that, right? And I'm sure the audience likes that as well. Here at Poly Platform, we're an engagement platform for municipalities, companies, and schools. So it seems like you are very engaged. And so the last question that I want to ask you is, you know, Simon Sinek, what is your why? What keeps Sione Takitaki engaged and focused to do these things that you're setting out to do? What does that look like?
Yeah, I just, you know, everyone has that picture of life in their head, you know, that they want in life. You know what I mean? What do you want in life? And I want to be able to live comfortably and be able to go to my kids' games, you know, whenever I want. You know, hey, you know, my daughter has a soccer game, blah, 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 here. I want to be able to just, you know, call off work and go to that soccer game whenever I want, you know, because I'm a big family man, and that's what I believe in. And so with that, you know, you got to work hard. You got to be able that you can find that, you know, that life that you're able to do that. And so every day when I wake up, man, that's my why. Being able to have that big picture in my mind, and obviously my family. My family's my why also, my wife, you know. But yeah, you know, just kind of thinking back, that's kind of the, you know, the thing that runs, you know, why my engine is running every morning when I wake up, attacking football, you know, and yeah.
And so again, like what we say, this is Thursday Thoughts. We want to get to understand what are people besides just that balance, besides just what they do, and really understand who they are as a person. So thank you so much, Sione. We do have a gift for you today. If you want to show off that shirt. So this shirt, and who's designed this shirt, actually a good friend of ours, Squally Canada from BYU football, Kahase clothing line, and we'll definitely tag him in there as well. And so this is a Poly shirt. And again, we're happy that you were able to show up here with us. This is Thursday Thoughts. This is what we do every Thursday. We look forward for you guys to be here next time. And thank you, Sione Takitaki.
Thanks for having me.